So let's talk about something that feels like magic, but is actually a science. How do we effectively teach language to young children? Today, we're going to unpack some expert methods and turn all that academic research into simple, powerful strategies you can actually use. Let's dive in. Right. Let's start with a big question. How do kids actually learn a language? It seems to happen overnight, doesn't it? One minute, they're just babbling, and the next, they're telling you this elaborate story about their day. Well, it's not magic. It's a process. And if we can understand that process, we can unlock so much potential. Okay, and here's the first and maybe most important thing to get. Language is so much more than just a list of words to memorize. It's completely tied into a child's social, cognitive, and emotional growth. Think about it. When a child learns the word mine, they're not just learning a sound. They're learning a really complex idea about ownership, about expressing desire, and navigating their relationships with others. It's huge. So yeah, we've got to see language as this big, beautiful thing that's way more than just words. For these little learners whose brains are just so incredibly flexible, the whole process has to be handled with care and a lot of creativity. This is especially true in a place where a child might be juggling multiple languages and cultures all at once. All right, so where do we even start with all this? We start at the very bottom with the foundation, listening and speaking. Long before a child can ever read a book or write their name, they have to be able to hear language, make sense of it, and then try to use it themselves. These skills are the absolute bedrock everything else is built on. And this is the fun part. This is how we build that foundation. It's not about boring drills. It's all about play. Singing songs with hand gestures, for example, helps connect words to actions and meaning. Using puppets lets kids practice conversations without any pressure. They can be silly and creative. And role-playing? That's perfect for exploring social situations and building real confidence. The key is making it all fun and meaningful. And here's a really powerful idea: repetition. Now, this doesn't mean drilling them over and over. Think of it more like this. When we sing that same song again or repeat a funny line from a story, we're helping their brains strengthen those connections. Repetition is literally the bridge that helps a child go from just understanding a word to actually using it to build their own sentences. Okay, so once we've got that solid foundation of listening and speaking, what's next? Well, now we can start building up with reading and writing. But we have to remember, this can be a really big leap, especially for kids who might be learning a new language that's different from what they speak at home. So how do you make something as abstract as written words feel real? You use the world around you. Using real objects, realia, is just brilliant. Let a child hold a real pen while they're learning the word pen. Use picture cards to make connections. Or even better, have them arrange pictures to tell a story. That helps with both understanding and logical thinking. It's all about making it tangible. Okay, every builder needs their tools, right? Well, in language, our main tools are vocabulary and grammar. I love this analogy. Think of vocabulary as all the colorful bricks you have. And grammar, that's the strong mortar that holds all those bricks together so you can build something that makes sense. The best way to teach new words isn't just with flashcards. It's all about context. Let's say your theme is fruit. Don't just show a picture of an apple. Bring in real apples. Let the kids see them, touch them, smell them, maybe even taste them. That whole sensory experience creates a connection to the word that's so much stronger and more memorable. And wow, this slide just lays it out so clearly. This is the old way versus the effective way of teaching grammar. On the left, you've got the traditional stuff. Textbook rules, memorization. It's usually pretty dry and feels disconnected from real life. But on the right, that's the good stuff. Learning grammar through stories and games, where kids are using it in a meaningful way without even realizing they're learning rules. So let's make this super practical. How would you teach a tricky concept like prepositions? Well, instead of just explaining what under means, you could grab a toy cat and a small chair and physically show them, look, the cat is under the chair. Or even better, turn it into a game like Preposition Hunt. Kids just learn so much better by doing. All right, now for the master plan. This is where it all comes together. We've looked at all the individual pieces: listening, speaking, reading, writing. The most powerful way to teach is to stop treating them as separate subjects and start weaving them all together. And check this out. This table shows you exactly how that integrated learning works. Say your theme for the week is animals. You're not going to have a separate lesson for each skill. Instead, listening to a story about animals helps them learn new words, which they then use when they're speaking. Matching animal pictures to their names reinforces reading, and then trying to write cow or dog just solidifies that connection. See, each skill supports the others. It's brilliant. So as we start to wrap this up, let's just boil it all down to the main message. If you really want to create an effective, exciting language learning environment, it all comes back to a few core ideas. In fact, it all comes down to one number: 3. If you take nothing else away from this whole thing, just remember this. There are 3 core pillars that support everything we've been talking about. And here they are. Number 1, play. A game, like Simon says, isn't just fun, it's a fantastic way to practice listening. Number 2, repetition. Singing those songs and playing those games again and again builds those strong pathways in the brain. And number 3, hands-on activities. Using real objects and getting kids to move provides that sensory input that makes learning deep and, most importantly, lasting. And this is why it all matters so much. The real goal here isn't just to teach a child a language. It's to use these positive, effective methods to build their confidence, spark their creativity, and feed their curiosity. We're not just creating speakers, we're helping shape enthusiastic, lifelong learners. So I'll leave you with this final thought. After everything we've gone over today, how are you going to take one of these ideas, whether it's play or repetition or a hands-on activity, and use it to make learning more fun and more meaningful for a child in your life?